Florence 1512. They broke into my house at dawn, they dragged me from my bed and tortured me. They ravaged my body, stripped me of power, social status, and so they believed dignity. Then they exiled me to a farmhouse outside the city, hoping I would disappear into irrelevance. Most men would have begged for mercy. Many would have spent exile pitying themselves, dwelling on their mistakes and why they hadn't seen it coming. I did something else. I analyzed my mistakes, studied those who had destroyed me, dissected their methods, examined their psychology, and from that cold analysis, I wrote the book that would become the most feared in human history. The Prince is not a book about healing, it's not a guide to move on, it's a manual for understanding power. You see, most people believe power is about what you possess. I discovered it's about what you understand. Seeing the game others ignore, recognizing the patterns that repeat in every betrayal, every manipulation, every time someone tries to diminish you. They thought they had destroyed me by taking everything away. Instead, they gave me the greatest gift, the motivation to decipher the system that had crushed me. And now, 500 years later, that system still works. The same psychological games, the same weaknesses used as leverage, the same power games. The difference is that now you hold the result of my work in your hands. If you truly understand the architecture of power, you will become someone completely different, someone who sees the trap and doesn't fall into it. Fortune is not a fickle die. It is a river. When it swells, it sweeps away fields, houses, promises. The weak cry out to fate. The strong build dikes. Half of our actions obey the flood. The other half answers to virtue. Not the one they taught you in catechism. Turn the other cheek. No, virtue is the strength to impose your will in hostile territory. Focus and remember your worst disasters. Did they have warning signs? Yes, they did. The friend who becomes disloyal before betraying leaves small signs. If you analyze with clarity, you will see that your relationship was already cracking, and the opportunity showed fractures if you had had the readiness to see them. Fortune respects boldness. As long as the river rests, build. Do not pray before the storm, it's already too late. Become the storm that redirects the waters. People do not judge reality for what it is, but for what it appears to be in their eyes. This is the law you must always keep in mind. Image weighs more than facts. The masses cling to surfaces, because it is easier to believe what they see rather than dig deeper in search of truth. Here my weapon is born. The 5 sacred appearances you must know how to control. You must appear merciful, loyal, humane, upright, and religious. But note the word, appear. If you were truly always like that, you would immediately be devoured by those who are not. True rulers project strength while hiding fragility, offer calm while calculating. Show generosity while preparing strategies. It is not hypocrisy, it is survival, it is architecture of perception. Reputation is an invisible blade. It decides how you will be treated before you even open your mouth. When reality surfaces, the game is already over. Do not harden your image. The best weapon remains the one that knows, when needed, how to change. Show mercy without forgetting the cruelty necessary with those who deserve it. Offer loyalty without losing, not even in that case, flexibility. Wear religiosity without turning off strategic reasoning. People react to the projection with which you feed them. Draw what they must see and you will get what you need. It is moral architecture for imperfect times, as mine were, as yours are. Do not wait to be understood. You do not have 1,000 years at your disposal. Teach them how they must read you. Train the gaze of others to land where it suits you. Obscure the rest. This is the mathematics of symbols, where the frame matters more than the painting. I repeat, the packaging matters more than the product. Do not waste energy regretting this. It is what it is. Accept it and use your energy on what you can control, not on what is outside your control. Next key step, 2 natures, not 1. This is the key most do not know. There are 2 ways to fight, by law and by force. The good man follows the first, the law. The untamed beast follows the second, force. He who knows how to use both ways of fighting survives. The lion is pure power, crosses thresholds with steady steps, makes the line clear and punishes violations. But the trap has no scent for the lion, and so it may succumb. Here enters the fox, who reads depth and mud, spots threads stretched in the grass, knows when to lie because truth in that moment becomes ballast. The fox, however, cannot endure the open field. The lion dies in trap nets. The fox dies in open clashes. The hybrid who masters both ways of fighting wins. Observe the world. The majority remain prisoners of a single mode, always conciliatory or always aggressive, always trusting or always suspicious. This predictability kills. You analyze and then choose. Clear threat, become lion. Hidden threat, become fox. Adaptation becomes survival. Do not offer predictability. Offer calibrated surprises. not never raising your voice, but overturn the table when needed and keep silent when it is wise. In every move, keep the question alive in others' minds, which version of you will they meet today? Now the surgery of the cut. Eliminating an obstacle without creating enemies is harder than it seems. The most common mistake is the middle ground. Half punishments, unkept threats, second chances to those who have already shown their nature. This is poorly used intelligence, hesitant, intermittent, which instead of reducing the number of enemies multiplies them. When you distance someone from you, the cut must be clean. No gradual cut, no, maybe later. One clear act teaches 100 lessons. One public example prevents 1,000 future tests. You do not do it for sadism, you do it for clarity. The social system learns from the frames you impose, which remember are more important than the painting itself. When they understand you will always carry out every decision, they stop testing boundaries. Your firmness becomes known. Your memory becomes a tribunal. Consistency is your final sentence. This frees up energy, reduces friction, increases gravity. Fear of consequence surpasses love for excuses. Let me reveal the human algorithm. Men are ungrateful, fickle, prone to lies, skilled in deceit, greedy for money, cowardly in the face of danger. It is not cynicism, it is recognition of patterns. If you build your image on goodness, you are building a structure on quicksand. If you design systems that exploit self-interest instead of fighting it, you become unbreakable. Remember this, fear is stronger than love because it touches the primary instinct of every human being. Survival. Love and gratitude vanish over time. Loyalty is always conditioned by circumstances. This is why you must not base relationships on fragile feelings, but on solid structures. Create exchanges where abandoning you costs more than staying loyal. Build incentives that reward loyalty and real and definitive consequences for those who betray. Do not offer favors that leave you with nothing in hand. Replace them with a balance of interests, where each gains more by staying by your side than by turning their back on you. Turn pain into information. Exile did not break my mind, it turned it into a laboratory. I studied my tormentors, and from the violence I extracted patterns. Every wound contains a message. What weakness they exploited, what blind spot allowed them to enter, what sign I ignored because I preferred to believe the words instead of watching their actions. Next time you will do as I did. You will recognize those patterns from afar. Scars become antennas, and antennas an alert system. The intelligent man learns from his own mistakes, but the strategist goes beyond. He learns from the successes of his enemies. This way you shorten response times, stop reacting instinctively, and start choosing. The past no longer haunts you like a ghost, it becomes your secret master. Do you want a mental fortress? It is not a wall that isolates you. It is a checkpoint that controls. Your mind is sovereign territory. Not everyone deserves a visa to enter. Every invitation, every conversation, every presence must pass a simple but relentless filter. Does it strengthen me or weaken me? If it brings chaos, incoherence, or emotional confusion, the answer is, away from here. They will accuse you of coldness. They will say you have changed. Let them talk. The price to access you has risen. Those who are worthy will pay it without complaint. Those who rebel against your boundaries reveal their true intentions and will remain outside. Now observe the complete architecture. A mind capable of reading the flood before it breaks the banks. A control of perception that guides others before facts become evident. Two natures in balance, ready to change form, surgical decisions that eliminate obstacles without leaving resentment, pain turned into knowledge, knowledge into power, boundaries that filter who surrounds you, letting in only those who are worthy, gravity that imposes respect without needing to ask for it. I'm not talking about becoming a better version of yourself. I'm talking about rebuilding yourself from scratch. Build an inner system so solid that external chaos cannot affect you, so clear that others' emotions cannot bend your choices. When this system lives in you, others sense it. They treat you differently, hesitate before crossing your boundaries, respect limits you haven't even declared. You are no longer a victim of what happens. You become the architect of what will happen. You don't argue with reality. You design it. You don't wait for respect. You obtain it. You don't wait for opportunities. You create them. This is evolution, from spectator of circumstances to author of consequences. If you feel that this transformation already flows in your veins, write your new identity. Name it. Give it a voice. Write in the comments, I rule. It is a simple and determined commitment, a declaration that trains the nervous system for command and reminds the mind of its sovereignty. Repeating it means building neural traces of inner authority, sculpting attitudes, reorienting choices, cutting noise. Keep the promise with small and definitive actions. You don't need consensus, you need consistency. Now you possess what cost me a lifetime.